Hey everyone, Brandon here. Time for another episode of SexxxPerTease, and our question is, this is going to sound really weird, but I get really upset when my boyfriend decides to pull out when he's about to come. We've been off and on for 6 years, but I feel like he should be comfortable enough to come inside me by now. Is it shallow for me to get upset over this? Well, if you've been off and on for 6 years, maybe your boyfriend well, if you are a heterosexual couple, it's natural for your boyfriend to, want to avoid possible pregnancy if you're not on birth control, but hopefully you are on birth control if you want to have unprotected sex, because otherwise that would be risky and really careless. But also, I guess I can see why you'd be upset with your boyfriend not wanting to come inside you, because if you feel like when you decide to have bareback sex with someone, that's really the ultimate, I trust you, I care, this is risky. I know we're risking pregnancy or STDs, but I think you're worth it, even though some people just have bareback sex with random people and not really care if they get AIDS or pregnant. But if you're in a relationship, I do think that bareback sex is a big deal and a big step in your relationship, because it means I fully trust you, I care about you, I'm willing to risk getting a permanent disease that could kill me because of you. I'm willing to risk getting knocked up with a baby that we're going to have the rest of our lives because of you. So I do think bareback sex should not be taken extremely lightly, but I can see why you'd be upset that you feel like you're ready at this stage to have unprotected sex with your boyfriend and risk the repercussions when your boyfriend is not, because it feels like it could be insulting to you because you feel like he doesn't trust you the same way you trust him, or he's not as willing to be permanently connected with a permanent disease or a permanent baby like you are willing to risk it. But I do think your boyfriend could also just be being smart. You never really know where someone else has been, especially if you've been off and on for 6 years. That's a lot of people that could have been there in between you and during those off times. So, you never really know if your partner has an STD or anything there, because some don't show symptoms, some people don't get tested regularly, and some people are careless with their unprotected sex. So maybe your partner's just looking out for your best interests, and maybe, I'm not saying he has an STD or an STI, but he is being cautious with reason, because you haven't been together fully that amount of time, and you never really know if someone else has something unless you are getting tested together and have the results read out loud in front of both of you. Otherwise, your partner could be lying, and you can never really fully know the truth unless you just decide to trust them or not. And if you do decide to trust them, they could lie to you, and you could still wind up with AIDS or any other STIs, and there's a lot of dangerous ones out there. I know there are drugs now that can help you prevent getting HIV, but even if you did have unprotected sex and you're on those drugs, it doesn't prevent you from getting other STIs, like gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis. Those aren't a joke. Some can lead to strokes. I went on a date with a guy who told me that he had a stroke, and he was only 31 because he had an untreated case of syphilis. I definitely did not hook up with him, but it was really nice of him to tell me that, even though it was the first date. But anyway, STDs are no joke, even though they're called STIs now. But you could get infertility from an untreated STI. Your pee slit can burn like a motherfucker if you don't get treated for STIs. So you do have to get treated and tested regularly. And even though you're in a committed relationship, you never really know what your partner's doing when you're not there. I mean, there's no guaranteed way to know that someone's cheating on you, so it's best to always protect yourself. I know you could fully love someone and trust them and think they mean the world to you and they would never do anything bad to you, but you never really know what's going on when you're not there. So it's always best to protect yourself. So I can see why you'd be upset. I don't think, I mean, it is shallow to be upset that your boyfriend won't come inside you, but at least you still have a boyfriend and you're having sex with each other, so coming inside you shouldn't be the piece de resistance that's gonna highlight and seal the deal that makes the sex way more enjoyable. It's just natural that someone would want to protect themselves from potential pregnancy or STIs, even if it is someone they're in a relationship with, because you never really know where someone else has been, what STIs lie dormant, and etc. But if you do want to have unprotected sex, which is not recommended, do make sure you get tested with your partner and have the results read out loud in front of both of you. And if the partner isn't really willing to do that, then you know that there could be a possibility that they could have something that you don't know about. So, I recognize that you are upset that your boyfriend won't come inside you, and I'm sure you're not the only person, because I feel like I could also feel that way potentially if I was with someone and like, I feel like I trust you, I love you, come inside me, and they're like, no. And then it's insulting, but it's for your best that potential pregnancy and STIs aren't worth it. So, have safe sex, and I hope that helped answer your question, and join me again for another episode of SexxxPerTease.